So my program director was like, "It's about R&B music. This rap thing is a fad. It'll go away. Don't get too focused on that." And I was like, I'm fixated on hip hop and why we're not even running it more of it because the records existed. And you have to think this was 89 going into 90. And I'm like, dude, we got to do more with hip hop. And he was just like, you got to do more with R&B or you're going to lose your job.
Right.
And I barely had the job. So it was like I was making no money.
Life be lifing. Every successful artist has someone behind the scene who believes before the rest of the world. Someone who saw greatness before anyone else recognized it. Today's guest is one of those people. He spent decades discovering talent, developing artists, building careers, and quite shaping some of the biggest stories in music. Most people know him as the man who helped discover and build the incredible career of Anderson Paak and so many more. But today isn't just about music. It's about vision. It's about resilience. It's about trusting your instincts when no one else understands what you see. It's about reinvention. Because sometimes the people making the biggest impact aren't shaping in front of the microphone. They're shaping behind it, changing lives. Please welcome my longtime friend, Adrian Miller. Welcome to Out of the Fire,
All righty.
my new podcast.
That is incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love the digs.
Thank
It's
you.
set up very lovely indeed, but
Thank-
only as you would.
Thank you very
You
much.
would do it just like this.
Well, I'm so happy to see you because we ran into each other at the Warner Brothers reunion party.
Yes, we did.
And I was like, I have a new podcast. You're coming on my podcast because I know you're going to talk shit to me. So,
Well, that answers my first question.
wait, you're going to be laughing too hard. Okay, go.
There we go.
Okay, go. You going to talk shit to me?
Why did you have to fire me? I was in Jamaica minding my own black business. And look, everybody's got to know the answer to this, and you're going to tell us right now.
Wow. Well, it wasn't like I had to fire you. We were at
Exactly.
Warner Brothers.
That was my sentiment. You
No,
don't
we were
have
at
to.
Warner Brothers Consolidated, and I was given a list. They told me, well, first, they didn't even tell me I had to do that. I got the job, and then they were like, oh, by the way, you have to let all these people go. And I'm like,
Well, what
wait,
about
what?
this guy on this list right here? No, I don't want to let him go. I don't want to let him go.
I know.
And I don't
but
want to let
guess
her
what?
go.
If I didn't let you go, would you be the man you are right now?
Yes, and I'll be richer.
No, you-
I'll be extra paid. Are you crazy?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my
Like,
gosh.
it was when Warner Brothers was merging and all that crap
I
was
know
going
what was
on.
happening,
I
but I
know.
was in Jamaica.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm
And
sorry.
the last thing I thought about
What?
was you calling me and me hearing from you about being fired. I
I'm
was
sorry.
like, I was 100% sure. I was high
I'm
as
glad
hell.
you got the elephant out of the room.
I was high as
Out
hell.
the door. Let
I
us
said,
go.
why?
Why
And
me?
You don't even remember what you said to me.
Let me hear what I said. I hope I was nice.
Bring, click, click. Yes. Okay. Okay.
What were you doing
Hey.
in Jamaica first?
Hello?
Were you doing reggae records?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay,
Yes. I was doing DJs and MCs.
sorry. Right.
West
right,
Coast producers
Right.
with the top next of wave artists that eventually did come and blow up. Not all of them,
Okay.
some. And that album still doesn't exist to this day.
Wow.
No one ever did. No one decided DJ Quick, Battle Cat, Dre, hit
Wow.
with Jamaican artists
That's dope.
over it. Nobody thought about that.
Wow.
And that's what I was there doing.
Okay.
And I was high. I was very copious amounts of marijuana, I
well,
must
if you're in
admit.
Jamaica, like that's what you do.
Yeah.
Ganja man.
So
Like, you
that's
know-
why I knew I was high. I was like, she what? Wait,
Okay,
huh?
so what did I say? I don't remember that.
It was I'm not going to go verbatim.
Okay.
But, it was like, hey, I got to let you go. And you let me have a word in because I did say to you, look, I don't know why I would be like on the list of things to do because I was the youngest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you were just like, well, we don't know what you do.
Mm.
You said, we don't know what you do. And I was like, I'm in the A&R department. I sign groups and I make records and I do remixes. And they had me working from Quincy to Ray Parker Jr., Bob
Right.
James,
Right.
Seal. I was
Right.
working at all the labels.
Right.
And little did I know, I was doing a lot more than I was supposed to do over there.
How long were you at Warner Brothers?
I was there for about 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. what's
Under
going on?
Benny.
Yeah,
Right.
what's
Benny
going-
brought you in, right? Mhm.
Well,
Maybe.
pause. You can't say under. That
Yeah, I'm
was
sorry.
never
I'm sorry.
under.
I did
I worked
working
for
for
him
Benny.
and Carrie
Hey, Carrie.
Gordy.
Carrie came. Carrie came
Yeah,
and did a
yeah, yeah,
show.
yeah. So,
Yes.
and he didn't make my job easy either.
No.
But, that was growth and potential for me to understand kinda how it worked, the dynamic of being, F service at that tier,
Hmm.
because I would've never
And
known.
where'd you come from before you were at Warner Bros?
Immortal.
You were Immortal.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
right. Immortal.
It was Immortal and in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Happy
And Amanda, Demi.
and Amanda.
Yeah.
Yes.
The home of Immortal Buzztone, the home of House of Pain, Cypress Hill,
Yep.
Korn, Incubus, Funk Dubious, in Volume 10.
In volume 10. Oh, we have a volume 10 story. We might as well jump in that. So
Doo-doo-ts.
they used to report to me. That was at RCA or EMI? It was
RCA.
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 Right. I can't listen. I had so many record company
You and
jobs. I
Skip.
can't remember.
You and Skip.
Me and Skip Miller, exactly. Because Loud reported to me also.
This was,
All the production companies reported to
this
me.
was, smart crew at RCA,
Yeah.
smart enough to know which labels to grab.
Right. Right.
Can't be mad at that.
Yeah, that was we won't date ourselves, but I think that was 92?
Yeah.
92,
Yeah,
like
safe to
92.
say.
Mhm. Running labels, running around, just, discovering artists. Let's talk about volume 10 because we were just talking
Talk
about
about
that.
them.
But you reminded me at the Warner Brothers party because I completely forgot about volume 10, and then you said Pistol Grip Pump. I'm like, "Oh, shit, I remember that." Yeah, that was like we've made so many records.
That was a fight to, and the interesting thing is we talk about the dynamic of making the records. We talk about the artists that made the records. We don't really talk about the behind the BTS
Right.
of the practice of that. And recently I was with, John Burke? You familiar with him?
I know the name.
He has Concord. He
Yes,
sold it, and
yes,
then he
yes.
decided to accelerate.
Yes.
So John is really good friends. He and his partner, his not partner, but his business associate Denny, who works with him, they were doing Denny used to work for Chick Corea, and Chick Corea used to be signed to John. Well,
Mhm.
we made all the hip hop records, including Volume 10s, at Chick's studio, Mad Hatter Studios.
Wow.
So you
didn't
may
know
have
that.
seen an invoice or two from
I'm
your
sure.
boy
I'm
in that
sure.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my point is Chick Corea knew about all this happenings
Wow.
in that era
Mhm.
because you're
You were
making all
there.
this racket. Yeah.
So let's get some history. Tell us about young Adrian Miller. Give me some background on how you got here. Because I mean, I know a little bit, but I don't know
Yeah.
all of it. And you've had an amazing career. You're a survivor. You're relentless. You're a pivoter. That's super important for Out of the Fire. So let's start from the beginning.
Well,
Where'd you
okay.
grow up?
So I'm just a lover of music. I go all the way back to St. Louis. And I guess you don't know unless you know. And later I found out that, my mom and dad not being married when I was born kind of makes me a bastard. Not in a bad way, in a real way. I didn't know.
Mm.
And the first place I go to when I'm born is Pruitt-Igoe. I'm taken home from the hospital to Pruitt-Igoe, which is the projects.
Oh, I was like, what is that?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the
The
projects. A lot of people in
projects.
St.
Okay.
Louis know it as the projects, and
Right.
people are like, "You're too young to have lived at Pruitt-Igoe." Well, okay, that's another fun fact that I learned about myself. The other one was, music. Music takes control of us, and we don't know when it's going to land, and it did for me as a
Mhm.
youngster, learning how to dance, listening to my uncle's vinyl, my aunt in food and music. That was the cachet to her. My
And this is in
cousins
St.
in
Louis.
St. Louis.
Mhm.
And then my dad had a record store.
Oh, your dad at a record store?
He had a record store. And I
Wow.
was super proud. I remember being super proud and then getting lost in looking at album credits. Like I would just
Yes.
go look at the album credits because my
Mhm.
uncle used to look at the album credits and I wanted to be like my Uncle Tony.
Wow.
So I would look at the album credits and my brother would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm just reading album credits." And he's just like, "You're a weirdo." And I was
But you
just
were
like,
educating
I
yourself.
didn't know. I didn't know. I just was looking at all these, and then I started to see the names kind of repeat themselves in different places at different points. And then I just was like, yo, it all lit up like, oh, Frankie Crocker is connected to
Mhm.
Miles Stewart is connected to,
Mhm.
Gamble and Huff is connected. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I was just interested, that
Awesome.
that that was perspective for me.
Yeah.
But that was early St. Louis. my mom said, "I'm gonna get married," and she's like, "How did you like to move to LA?" And all I thought was Disneyland. I'm about to lose my mind. Let's go. It's on.
You're like, "It's Disneyland, I
Disneyland.
gotta go."
I'm gonna go to Disneyland
That's
and I
why
can skateboard?
yeah.
I'm out
And
of here.
how old were you when you moved to LA?
7.
Oh, wow, you were young, very young.
Yeah,
Okay.
and, we moved here. We bounced around a few different places, Pasadena,
Yep,
Hacienda Heights, and then
yep.
we landed in South Central.
Okay.
So I was at Century and Western, right at
Mhm,
Jesse Owens Park.
mhm.
It was
Right in the hood.
it was Sportsman's Park.
Sportsman's Park,
So I
yes.
have to this day, I have, like, trophies up at the park. They're in
Mhm.
the back now, I heard, but they
But you
ain't,
put your mark there.
Yeah, I almost
And where'd you go to high school?
so, that's interesting because schooling, as much of a challenge as it was always interesting because I was like, "Why am I here?" I felt
Mhm.
I don't need to be in school, but I understood it later, like,
Right.
college got me to really like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be la, la, la." But, um, so it was manual arts,
Mhm,
Washington,
mhm.
and then I got skipped over to St. Louis.
Okay,
So went back to school there,
okay.
and,
They were like, "You're bad. Take your ass home and get some spankings for a minute."
well, it was I had a car accident
Oh,
at, like, 12 years old.
you were driving at 12.
I was not in the driver's seat,
Oh,
but I
okay,
wasn't supposed to be in the car.
okay.
I wasn't permitted to be
You were hanging out with
with
some
the guy I was
people.
with
You were hanging out with
in the
some
car.
people. Mhm. Were
Yeah,
you
he
okay?
was a nice guy,
Mhm,
but, we were he was just like he had all the hot rods on the block,
mhm,
and I mean, like, real racer hot rods,
mhm.
and lucky for me, he built the first, guard bar over, like the first bar that goes over, like, the, dashboard.
Yes,
He
yes.
built the first one,
Oh, wow.
and his hot rod had it, and a UPS truck crushed us on over by, Southwest College. We were
Mhm.
very far away from my house.
Was he okay?
No, thanks to that bar we lived, he wound up having reconstructive surgery on his
Wow,
face, so he had one of the first facelifts.
wow. That's terrible.
So, no,
And what
for
about you? And did you get hurt?
yeah, I got my lip cut open really slit, so I still
Mhm,
have stitches here to this day, I can feel
mhm,
them, and
mhm,
right here.
mhm,
But the fact that my mom had to come to the hospital and I was supposed to be outside on my bike. I
mhm.
wasn't supposed to be at the
Yeah,
hospital
right.
from a
In
car
a
accident.
car from a car accident.
Yeah, so that was, kinda weird, and then she was just like, "You know what? You're out of here."
And so who'd you go live with in St.
My
Louis?
grandmother and my Uncle Tony.
Okay, and
Yeah.
how long were you there?
Chauffeur drove off and we never came back type.
Okay.
I was there. I thought I was there for the summer, and I was packing my stuff up to go back to LA,
Mhm.
and my grandmother's like, what do you call yourself doing?" And I was just like, "I'm packing up, I'm going home." She's just like, this is home."
Right. And then you stayed there until you went to college?
Yeah.
And where'd you go to college?
Went to college in Tulsa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how'd you get your ass back out to LA?
It wa
Just joking.
it was no, it was every holiday from my 13th, 14th birthday,
Mhm.
every vacation, holiday, or opportunity, I would leave St. Louis. I would catch a Greyhound. I would whatever I could do to get to LA, I was here hanging out with my family and my friends and my people out here that I had access to.
Okay.
So I was always gonna come back. It was just a matter of how.
Right.
Yeah.
And in college, were you into music then?
I was always into music. I was dancing and into music and chasing everything that moved.
I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when did you know music? Well, you grew up in a record store, so right there is just
Well,
that's
he
crazy.
had it, but my dad was on again, off again with me, so I didn't grow up there. I
Right.
really grew up in the basement listening to my uncle's jams.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
And what was your favorite song then? Growing up under your uncle, listening to his jams.
knee deep. She did
Mhm.
the freak, dun, 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 that's not beat, and yeah,
Yeah.
she did the freak.
Who was that? Na na
Yeah,
da
that's
da
P
da da
Funk.
da da P-Funk,
Come
yes.
on, George
It's so funny,
Clinton.
I used to go to all those concerts because I have an older sister. So I know a lot about
I don't know about the older one. I know about the younger
yes,
one.
I just had lunch with my younger sister too.
Hi, younger
Yeah,
sister.
she's doing great. But my older sister and I have an older brother. And
Would
that's
take you
how
to
it
the
came.
concerts.
That's where I learned all the music. Take me to the concerts. And I grew up next door to Walter from the Whispers.
Look at this
I
lifestyle you had.
I grew up with a lot of yeah, and I grew up and Kareem was across the street. When he had gotten a divorce, he rented a house across the street from I used to babysit
Oh.
his kids. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. but and grew up with
No, see,
Ike
that's
and
that's
Tina
parts of
Turner.
the story.
Yeah,
I love that.
I grew up
I
with
love
Ike and
that.
Tina Turner's kids and
Mhm.
Ray Charles' kids, but they were all my sister and brother's age. They were a little older than me.
Right, right, right,
But
right.
we all kind of grew up in
Where'd
Windsor
you go to
Hills.
where'd you
Windsor
go to
Hills. I grew up in Windsor Hills, and then I
Mhm.
went to
See, what
Ladera.
they don't know is you gotta be a special kind of,
That's like
sedity
it's the Black Beverly
vibes.
Hills of
Eh,
LA,
give it
but
up, give it up, give it up, give it
well,
up.
well, I that
Come
was my
on.
parents are from.
Listen.
But it's funny, the people on my street, I grew up on Verdun.
Mhm.
Do you know Bentley Evans?
Yep.
He grew up on my street.
Hello,
Him
Bentley.
and Stacy we grew up on the same street.
Which Stacy?
His sister.
Okay, yeah.
And then do you know Kevin Murray and Linda Murray? Kevin Murray was a senator. He grew up on that street.
I do know Kevin not well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he
yeah,
grew up
yeah.
on that street.
Oh,
Then Lisa Hamilton, who used to be on the TV show, she grew up on
you
that
had
street.
the ball.
This street was crazy.
You
I
had
don't
to
know.
ball.
You had
You was like permitted if you can ball.
And then another lady named Tony Hamilton lived down the street. She's my sister's friend. She's won James Beard Award in food.
Oh
Like it's a
wow.
whole bunch of us that grew up together that everybody's got all this
But
stuff.
isn't
It's
it
crazy.
like that? Like people say it's in the water, but I feel like it's in the status is premised off of the bar you raise.
Yeah,
So
and I
in
think
your
it was
neighborhood,
yeah, I think it
how
was a
dare
school
you move over
system.
here if you ain't got it popping?
No, I think it was a school system too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Well, no,
I
like
couldn't
the grown folks buying homes over there
Yeah,
out of school.
yeah.
So it's almost
Yeah.
like
They were professionals.
here's the bar.
Yeah, they were
You
professionals.
can't afford it
For
if
sure.
you
My
can't
parents
afford
were
it.
professional.
Yeah, there you go.
My mom was a school teacher, and then she became a doctor, psychologist.
But they have to also understand proximity.
Exactly. It's true.
Yeah,
It's
I
true.
don't get
I've been very
I don't
blessed.
get any anxiety over that.
No, I've been very blessed.
You
And I
have.
don't know how I got into the music business because that's not where they wanted me, but that's a whole nother story for another time. But getting back to you. So how did this
You like how I
music
flip it
bug-
though.
I know. I'm
Okay,
getting back
okay,
to
okay,
you.
okay, okay.
um, how did music like become your thing? Give me your first job in the record business. So you came out here. How did you fall into this crazy business? Because you're a hustler already.
So I had no desire, truth be told, to be in the business of music. I
Mm.
just love music. I was in the culture of hip hop.
Mhm.
I was in the culture of alternative music. I was a follower and always about my free time was spent dancing, listening to music, and figuring out where Fishbone was at.
Oh wow.
I was like, "Where's Fishbone?"
Okay.
And they were like,
So you really were into alternative. Yes.
"Yeah, yeah."
Yes.
I was a rude boy for sure. I was
Right.
like, all the
I can see that.
because it was as close as you could get to being punk rock,
Yeah.
and I was broke.
Right.
So I
Right.
was
And you
as
were
punk
broke.
rock as you could be. Yeah, yeah.
So what was the first record company you worked for?
I interned while I was in college for Bill Stephanie's company
Oh wow.
for Sound of Urban Listeners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Very
that was
cool.
Soul MCA.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time I was doing that, I was also meeting all the reps, the local reps that would come to the station because we had become a Billboard reporting station.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the college radio thing at TU,
Which station?
and then I was at KBLK in Tulsa.
Okay. Yes.
So
yes.
it became a Billboard reporting
Yes.
station, and I worked under Reggie Davis for him.
Yep.
And the cool part was it was really a thing about R&B music, and I didn't hate R&B music or gospel or blues, which is what Tulsa's really known for.
Mm-hmm.
But I was into hip hop, and I was hitting all the best spots because I was getting all the information from my friends in New York, all my friends in LA, and I was bringing them into what I saw here, but I was also playing a bunch of local people too.
Right.
And so building that, I didn't know what I was doing in terms of like, yo, I'm gonna play this group and that group, and I'm gonna do a party, and I'm gonna have these guys, contest against each other.
Right.
I wound up becoming closer with a producer by the name of Emmanuel Dean,
Mhm, I remember him.
and
Yep.
I managed I managed him and his partner Daz. They were in a group together
Yeah.
called Genuine, and I was managing them then.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I was doing. They were just
Right.
like, "You're gonna be our manager."
I didn't even know you were at radio. This is all new for me.
So yeah, I was in Black Radio. I was
Wow.
really doing my thing, enjoying the fact that I was getting any kind of adulation or attention from radio reps like,
Right.
you know, uh, Belinda Wilson.
Ken Wilson.
Ken wasn't around, but Belinda was.
Belinda. Mm-hmm.
She
Eddie
definitely was.
Sims.
Oh yeah. And then Mike Jones.
Yes.
God rest his spirit.
Ruben Rodriguez.
Ruben was really higher up.
Yeah.
But Mark Boyd, that's what
Mark
I was gonna
Boyd.
say,
Yes.
Mark
Yeah.
Boyd.
Yeah.
So Mark was like a big brother to me,
Yeah.
and Mark used to be the guy who would
We're talking
bring
about
me.
old
Yeah. Oh, but
promotion men
but
that used to work the records and go to the radio stations
and
and
so
stuff.
I would
Yeah.
see all this R&B stuff around me,
Yeah.
and so my program director was like, "It's about R&B music. This rap thing is a fad. It'll go away. Don't get too focused on that." And I was like, I'm fixated on hip hop and why we're not even running it more of it because the records existed. And you have to think this was 89 going into 90. And I'm like, dude, we got to do more with hip hop. And he was just like, you got to do more with R&B or you're going to lose your job.
Right.
And I barely had the job. So it was like I was making no money
Right.
and
You were having
going
fun though, and you
I
were
was having a
learning,
ball.
and
Yeah.
you were doing kind of street
Yeah.
promotion, radio
I
promotion,
was
stuff like
busy.
that.
Yeah, I was a busy person. I didn't smoke or drink. I was
Wow.
just working out and going to school every day, reading. I was reading so many books because I had to keep up with the school curriculum because I had a
Right.
scholarship.
Right.
And, I never saw myself working in the business of music, but I was in the business of music from that perspective,
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was coming to LA on my breaks, because I was still doing that go to LA thing,
Mm-hmm.
um, my cousin was out here, Lamar Algie, and he and I would go do these parties. And one of the parties I saw Paul Stewart at, and I was just watching the room, and I was like, "Is Paul Stewart DJP?" And it was DJP. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
Paul Stewart. It was DJP.
Mm-hmm.
But I would see his name in like the Source magazines as
Right.
one of the writers, the contributing writers and stuff. So I put it all together, and he doesn't remember this, but I had said this on another show, and he was just like, "That's not how it happened." But how we met was he was at a party called Water the Bush.
Mm.
I had my card for Soul. They gave us cards.
Oh wow.
So I walked up to him. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm the Southwest rep for
Here you
Sound of
go.
Urban Listeners, and I'm going to work for you." And he was just laughing at me. He took my card and he gave me his card, and he was like, "Yeah, whatever,
Right.
And I was just like, "Yeah, I'm going to do it." And come to find out, it did go full circle, and I wound up coming back. My job, my cousin Lamar, Paul, and Malik brought me back to LA. They
Okay.
really helped my trip. When I finally finished school, it was like, okay, what are you going to do next? And I wanted to come here, and his business was growing. PMP, it was growing.
Yeah.
So they needed someone to come in, and I was just like, "Yo, I will come in. I'll do everything you need me to do. All the heavy lifting." They piled the money up and was just like, "Yo, here's your little opportunity."
And what were you doing? Promotions?
Street teaming.
Street teaming. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was his PA, but yeah.
Yeah. And how long were you there?
That's an interesting question because I don't know how long I was there. I just remember we got busy.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember
Mm-hmm.
like the summer, it was so much. It was parties that he did.
Right.
I would be the official record carrier.
Yep.
I was just like, "Hey, move this, do that,
Yeah.
guy."
Right.
And I was down because I wanted to know as much as he had access to, and he had a lot of love in the city.
Right.
Everybody knew Paul,
Right. No, everybody knew Paul.
and so his word was the bond. And but I had a lot of other people that I had relationships to because people used to call me and work their records.
Right.
So I knew Fade.
Yep.
That's like,
Duvernay.
that's the big brother.
Dave Duvernay.
He
Yeah.
always looked out. But like the good news is that in that era,
Yeah.
I could say we all looked out for one another.
Of course we did.
There wasn't one person who was like, "Yo, I'm gonna step on your neck to get over here."
Yeah. It wasn't like that. Everybody was out there hustling.
Yeah.
For just hustling. Who's the new act? What's the new record?
Because
that whole thing.
nobody was over anyone else too much.
Exactly.
And by the time you did get to those guys, like I will say Paul had to deal with the higher ups.
Yeah.
But that's why you were the boss.
Yeah.
You own the company because you had people who were telling you what it was or what it wasn't.
Then what was your first A&R job? Was it through management or did you go to Loud or what was next?
So I got to go all the way back to school again.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what an A&R guy was.
No,
Even
of course
with
not.
all the access.
I didn't know what A&R was
had
when I was in
no
college.
idea. So I'm at the radio station. No. I'm sorry. This predates that. To get my scholarship, I had to do a play because I had a theatrical scholarship.
Okay.
I was in the theater, blah 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 blah. And to
No,
get that,
I don't believe that.
and
No,
to
I'm
get
teasing.
it, that
I'm teasing you.
I had to do a series of plays.
Mhm.
One of them was called San Antonio Sunset. On Everything I Love, that's the story of sinners.
Oh, Wow.
So I actually played Robert Johnson,
Oh,
the Mississippi Delta
yes.
blues guitarist.
Yes, I was just talking about him because I just went and saw a movie on Nashville, Black Nashville,
Mhm.
that Reggie Hudlin and Byron Phillips are doing. I wonder if I can say that now because it's not out yet. But anyway,
Well,
and
when this airs, it'll be out.
yeah, Robert
And
Johnson
because we're
was
having this
part of it.
conversation,
Yes.
Byron and Reggie both love y'all. Y'all know what it
Yeah,
is.
they're coming on the
So
show
it's
too.
important. Yeah, you got to get them up
They're,
here.
they're coming. But yeah, the Robert Johnson part of it, I was saying to them, they need to put more of that in there because
People don't know.
people don't know that he was Nashville. And I know they considered the
No,
blues, but he was doing
he
the funky
was
tonk. You know what I mean?
so he played the slide guitar.
Exactly.
And not many people knew, and in that era, for me, there wasn't a lot of literature on him.
Yeah.
So I was doing everything to double down on the study. I was a method actor in so many different ways. And I really think that what I did was I was encouraging myself to learn the business of music indirectly
Right.
from the inception of it.
Well, it's funny that you brought him up because that's just kind of like this ding ding moment. A lot of people still don't know who he is. You know?
Yeah. So in that playing him, you couldn't call me Adrian for like a month and a half.
Oh wow, you were
I was Bob.
you were a serious
I was Bob.
actor.
I would
Yeah.
wear like this fit. I'll show you a picture. I wear this like same suit. I just
Yeah.
wash it
A
like every 3
method
days.
actor, isn't that
I
what
was
they call
so
it?
like I had to
Yeah.
clean my shirts every day.
Yeah.
I was first of all, burning up outside. I'm in a tweed suit, carrying a guitar, my backpack, looking down at the
Could you play the
ground.
guitar?
Um,
Enough for the stage.
oh, I pulled it off all the way. I
Okay.
pulled that off
I'm
because
impressed.
I was trying to keep my scholarship.
Right.
I
Okay.
wasn't tripping off. And so there was two people pretty much in the entire play, myself and this other guy who was a senior, and he was the bomb. I forgot
Right.
his name, but he was the bomb. And he really was he was the bomb. Like this guy showed me so much about stage and points and measure, and I was just like, "Wait, what?" He was the A&R guy for Robert Johnson.
Oh,
And so I need to know what this is.
wow.
Yeah, so I learned about an A&R and artist and repertoire, and he told me because there's a line like, so yes, sir. What is it that you do? Huh? Huh? What you do?
Mhm.
I know what I do. What is it that you gonna do?"
Wow.
And I'm talking to the A&R guy,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Well, I'm the A&R guy. I'm the artist and repertoire for the label." And blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
And it just sank all the way in that there's somebody that
Does this?
gets this. Yeah. And it was Race Records that he was making. And he
Wow.
told him straight up, "I'm going to take your record. I'm going to put it out. You're going to be famous. You can go do shows." And that's the end of that. And he's like, "Well, how much am I gonna get from the record?"
He's like, "You're not
And
getting
he's like,
anything."
That's nothing. You
Yeah,
don't get
that's
nothing.
all my money.
But
Yeah.
it was square biz. He told him straight up what it was.
Wow.
And he's like, "And you can't, because ain't nobody supposed to know it's you."
And that's how you learned what A&R was.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, in college, I had never heard of it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it clearly people know what it is now, but people don't care what it is now.
No. Now it's a dying,
it's-
it's a dying breed. You know what I mean? Management
Yeah.
should do all that. So what was the first record company that you got into LA? Who'd you start working with first?
Well, I mean, P&P became a record company.
Yes,
But
they
I
did.
wasn't working there when Paul turned it into a label.
Yeah.
Again, Soul was like the first one I kind of worked for.
Yeah.
But then from Paul, it was Hits. I went to work for Graham Armstrong.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was at Hits.
Okay.
And then I left Hits and went to Steve Rifkin Company,
Mm-hmm. Before
working
it
with
was loud.
Fade. Yeah.
Before it was loud.
And then we turned it into Loud.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like employee number 10,
Mm-hmm.
having worked for Riff. I think we established that I was like the 10th employee.
Mm-hmm.
And so P&P was right across the street from Loud. So I basically bounced away to Sherman Oaks and then came right back.
Right. Right.
And then, so Loud became the first
Yeah.
label that
Yeah.
I worked for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Rifkin. Loud reported to me at RCA, as
Yeah.
we talked about, which was so much fun. And I remember when they first started, because they were promotion guys too. They were just doing promotion, and they were running promotion stuff
Wait,
at first.
I got to correct something.
Huh.
Shouts out to some of the labels that I didn't work for, but that I actually worked with.
Okay.
Delicious Vinyl,
Yep. Yes, that was huge.
Island Records. And Orlando
Mm-hmm.
was a A&R guy at Delicious Vinyl,
Mhm.
Orlando again. And so he was really one of the first people that I was, and then Kim Bowie over at Island,
Yep.
because I introduced her to Freestyle Fellowship and I was taught what I wasn't.
Right.
And I found out again what an A&R person was.
Right.
She was like, "You're not the manager,
Right.
and I'm the A&R person."
Right.
I was like, "So what do you call me?" And she's just like, "You're the finder.
Right. You find talent.
You found them, and so you find your way out in my office right now."
Okay. When did you get to Warner Brothers? When did that happen? So it was
It
Loud.
it was Loud, um, and then I went to work for Immortal.
Mhm. Happy.
Yeah, Happy and Amanda. Amanda
Mhm.
was actually the
Amanda.
person who brought
Mhm.
me in to the
Mhm.
job, so I always say her first. And then, and that's an interesting story on how I met Amanda. That goes full circle back to Paul,
Mm. Mhm.
and Skate Master Tate and et cetera, so on and so forth. That's a full
Mhm.
circle because we know Amanda Demi. A lot of people don't remember Amanda Shear.
Same person.
Yeah, same person. You
Yeah.
used to get married, change your last name,
Yeah, of course. I've
blow
done
up,
that a couple times.
blow up, go pop.
I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah.
Listen, this is something that I'm kind of making jokes about now, but I'm gonna just say it out loud.
Okay.
Because once upon a time I said, before you know it, dudes is gonna be buying breasts.
Yeah.
Now my new one is, before you know it, men are gonna be changing their last name.
They're doing that too.
Are they?
Yeah, some are.
I'm dead.
Yeah, you some did. They some
Oh
do.
God.
Some do. Depends on who they marry. You know what I mean? It works better, but yeah. There it
There's hope for
goes.
you yet,
No,
Adrian
no,
Miller.
no. Oh yeah, for you. Yes, I'm done with getting married. I've done it twice. I don't need to do it ever again. I'm good. I got 2
You think I
beautiful
should change
kids.
my last name?
No, I don't.
Okay, good.
You're too famous already.
I don't. Here we go. How much I owe you after this interview?
Okay, let's talk about Anderson. Let's talk about how you found him, because I've heard some really interesting stories. How
Tell me what you know.
Well, I've just heard that, like, you found him. He didn't have a lot going on. Like, he didn't have money. Like,
Wait.
wait.
How true is that? Did he have a record out? Did you hear about him before you heard
No,
about?
I didn't. I heard about him when you were
Do you
working
think
with him.
maybe he was already large in Europe or something? And
I don't know. I
Okay.
knew he was a very successful musician that you supported, and somebody told me that, like, you put your house up to keep him going. I don't know how true that is.
wild rumors, huh?
I don't know how true any of it is, but you're here to get me straight. So let's talk about Anderson Paak, because
Well, first of all,
super talented.
yeah, he's a delight.
Yeah.
And for the record, business is business, and I like to think that family is family.
Yep.
I don't want to mix my words ever, and this is a platform, and I respect everything that you do, but I want people to, appreciate the art for face
Right.
value. I don't want
Right.
to put too many airs on it, and I know
Right.
this is more of a BTS type of thing.
Right.
So, there's so many things that are no longer here that I should have to mention, like Dominic Trenier,
Right.
like D'Angelo,
Yes.
my last client,
Gary Harris,
like Gary Harris.
D'Angelo.
Yeah, like
It's
Gary.
funny. Eric was doing the Questlove podcast,
Uh-huh.
and I'm sitting in the other room,
Mhm.
and Amir goes, Gary, who signed it? And I'm like screaming, Harris. And him and Eric just couldn't. And he goes, why didn't you just walk in here and say who it was? I go, I'm not walking in on a podcast.
Right.
But it's just funny, the people that started. Because, I was at EMI when he still signed there. I was still
Oh,
at
wow.
EMI. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. When
That
Gary
was
Harris
that was
brought that in.
definitely an era
That
because
was an
Jocelyn
error.
Cooper.
Jocelyn Cooper did his publishing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole team of people. I remember it. I remember going to the first show.
And so,
Yeah.
let's say Kedar.
Yes.
We have to go back to Freestyle Fellowship. I
Yes.
just mentioned them.
Yes.
Kedar managed Freestyle Fellowship.
Right. He sure did. Kedar had a whole string of these hits.
And what I didn't understand was, why did they need a manager that was in New York?
Right.
It didn't dawn on me that he could actually pull strings and do things that I could not do.
Right.
But what I would have said to Kedar in my younger self would have been, allow me to work in LA on your behalf.
Right.
Or, whatever.
Right.
Because I did all that. He didn't know who they were.
Right.
And that would have drawn me closer in. Now that's my man to this day. Like, yo,
Yeah.
Kedar
Yes.
looks out. He's always like, yo, hey,
Yes.
you've been there since day one.
Yep.
But also in the room, Freestyle Fellowship, Kim Bowie, Kedar Massenberg, and Darkest Bees.
Mm.
Darkest was an intern just like me.
Wow.
We were just, you know,
In the room.
trying to jockey for space,
Mm-hmm.
air and opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I continue to remember things is Anderson reminded me of so many different things. He reminded me of Robert Johnson in terms of the indie race records
Right.
side of things. Of course, he had this thing. Everybody was like, D'Angelo this, D'Angelo that. But I was also like Far Side, you know,
Right.
because I had all this like look and feel. And during that time, there was Dred Scott, there was Erykah Badu, there
Mhm.
was all these different other artists that have had lives. But I think his perspective was just so different. And it was enchanting, and it was Breezy Lovejoy first.
Right.
Well, I knew the Breezy Lovejoy character before I met.
Then how'd you meet him?
Well, he is Breezy Lovejoy.
No, I know, but how did you meet him? How did you come to
Shouts
know
out
him?
to Tehran and Omari. I was
Yeah.
representing friends of his,
Okay.
and they wanted to be produced by, and Tehran, and you're going to disagree, but they wanted to be produced by, they wanted Mark Ronson to do their album.
Interesting.
Dominic Trenier and I we had started a management firm together.
Okay.
And so we were trying to get the guy who wanted to do their album, Q-Tip.
Right.
He wanted to do their album. He was
Right.
down.
Right.
And so we were like, no, let Q-Tip do it. And they were like, yeah, no, we want Mark Ronson.
Mm-hmm.
And they were insistent, and I kept pushing. And shouts out to Caston Grisby, because Caston was the guy who sent me Breezy Lovejoy's demo.
Mm.
And he had a song with Tehran and Omari, who Caston was managing, and we all came in. And we were formulating these groups of partnerships that should have been able to really operate and work effectively together.
Right.
Anderson was off doing his own thing. At the time, he was Breezy Lovejoy. He was doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And his thing wasn't really being seen and or heard. But he was pushing like everybody else. You had the internet out there pushing. You had,
Right.
you know, Flying Lotus out there pushing. You had wild artists in what I call this genreless infinite
Right.
pool of, you know, indie artists,
Right.
especially on the West Coast.
Right.
That's not mentioning all over the globe.
Right.
So I had access to him in that regard. I was no longer working for those guys. And then my boy Gary called me, F. Gary Gray,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, hey, I'm doing this Harley Davidson commercial. You got some music? And I sent him a barrage of things, but I said, this is special, and I think you should pay attention to it. And because of it, you know, B hit me and was like, yo, I think I need a new manager. And I was like, you know, but your manager said you don't. So
You're still managed.
you still
no?
have a manager.
Yeah.
But, you know, cooler heads prevail. And I always try to, when I'm seeking out people, because discover is a big way of saying that you controlled something.
Right,
And I don't know that anybody can control this one.
Yeah.
He's that much of a butterfly, and he's
Yeah.
very fluid in what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And he's got a direction like no other. So I want to give him his props in that regard. But for me, it was about how we brought there was an unstoppable impact. You've seen this unstoppable impact with young Black men in the culture. You've seen it with Dominic Trenier and D'Angelo.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it with Dame Dash
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
If you have seen it, you have seen it greatly work with people who move the dial.
Right.
You know, how Coach does it with P.
Yeah.
It's this creator's gain based off of this factoring of trust.
Right.
So
Become teammates.
you become a team like nobody else.
Yeah.
And I felt like personally there was an unstoppable vibe on what we did, because I followed his creative genius and he listened unabbreviatedly to my advice.
Well, that right there is hard. Listening to someone else who's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's hard. It's hard for artists because
It's a trust. It's a trust, and you get what do you call it? When you like are like, I don't trust that, and I've been
Mhm.
burned before,
Mhm.
so I don't want to
Mhm.
be burned
Mhm.
16 times the same way.
They're insecure, but when you
Yeah.
trust someone, and you have to trust someone in this game because nobody can do it by themselves. I haven't met an artist yet that's ever done it without help. It's just not
Well,
possible.
you may in this new era.
AI era. Maybe.
I don't think you will,
Yeah,
but
the point of it is it takes a team
yeah,
to build an artist. It
it
takes a team. It really does.
and who you put in that village is important. So
Yes.
there was a lot of moving parts at that time. I could say thank you to a lot of people who were participants from Dominic, because God only knows what was going through his head when I kept pressing the issue about Breezy Lovejoy.
Right.
Um, you know, Yasi.
And then what was his big break? Anderson, was it with Dre? Was it with
Wait, I'm giving you something you're never gonna get from anybody else.
Okay.
Yasi Henosi worked at Interscope.
Right.
I was like, give this to Dre. She was like, I'm gonna do my best. Her best friend was Ashley, who worked for Curtis.
Right. And Curtis ran Drake's label.
And then
Dre's label.
yeah, and then
Mhm.
Curtis left, and then
Right.
Ashley took her spot. And there
Oh.
had to be real symmetry in that dance.
Yep.
Ty was working for Dr. Dre. Ty was the A&R guy on staff over there,
Mhm.
Ty Cannon.
Mhm.
He was a huge Anderson fan. My son's mother, Carrie, was around Ty and drinking buddies and having a partnership
Mhm.
like no other. And she was, I'm going to take it to Dre. And she was so
Mhm.
funny. But her and Dr. Dre's sister are besties.
Mhm.
So there's something to be said about how that connection worked.
Right.
So I give her props. But it was a big deal that the very first meeting I took with Anderson, and I said, I'm going to go ahead and rep you. I went to Peter Paterno.
Wow.
Straight up. Got a
Big
meeting with
big
Peter off
big
top.
attorney.
And Peter's like, Dre ain't signing him. Go away.
Wow.
Dr. Dre is not signing him. Go away. First meeting.
Wow.
And I go, you can get him for pennies on a dollar. Right now, we really want to play ball with Dr. Dre. Because I asked AP, I said, yo, Andy, who do you want to rock with? And he was like, he's like, but
Mhm.
if I go see Dr. Dre, I
Mhm.
can't be calling myself Breezy Lovejoy. And this is what prompted him to do a name switch.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I didn't prompt him. I didn't prompt him to cut his hair. I didn't prompt him to do a name switch. I want to say that I would give him multiple choice of things. And this is how I operate. I give you multiple choice and you pick. And when
Right.
you pick, we gonna do it.
Right.
And every time he put a goal on his board, his whiteboard, we'd ascertain the goal.
Right.
Go platinum, make $1 million, get a Grammy,
Right.
begin.
Right.
Do
Good.
he kills me with one of the things he had on his board, which was, if I'm not mistaken, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say one of the things on his board, which was the biggest headache for me, was to do Tiny Desk.
Oh.
And he would throw stuff out there, and he knows this better than anybody. He's the quickest of, I want to do this, 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 this. You got it? And he would have written it down probably and memorized this list 25 times before he told you.
Mm.
So he knows what's on his list and not
Mhm.
going to forget. I said catcher's mitt
Wow.
on number 7. I say catcher's mitt. And you have to remember that.
Wow.
Instead of him just giving you the list saying, hey, go down this list with me.
Right.
That was the argument.
Yeah. He remembered it.
Attention to detail is what
Yeah.
we call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, and so then he got with Dre. You
well,
guys got with Dre. No? Okay.
Because I was like, there was a moment to make Straight Outta Compton,
Right.
but even before any and all of that, we had to kick up some dust.
Right.
So he ran around, made records with a little bit of everybody twice.
Mhm.
Shouts out to Watsky.
Mhm.
He produced Watsky's album,
Mm.
and he was making his own records. We were putting our records out. Shouts out to Hellfire and Alpha Pup and the whole scene in LA when we were on the rise, moving him around,
Right.
trying to build a rep. The first real kind of deal we did was we secured him an opportunity. He was making a record with a guy named Knowledge. Him and Knowledge did the NxWorries project. And
I
that was,
remember Knowledge. Yeah.
yeah, Knowledge, dope producer who was signed to Stone's Throw. So we did a deal with Stone's Throw. And I was trying to create our venture partnership and pairing, but it was moving really, really slow. And at the time, my girl was like, you know, let's move into the condo. Let's move back into Hollywood. Cause I was in Woodland Hills
Mhm.
alone
Mhm.
doing just fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was quiet. I could
Mhm.
get in my car and come into
Yeah. They don't let you out of
the
the business.
yeah, the
It's
hustle.
like the mafia. They pull you back in.
Yeah. So I'm doing my thing. And then all of a sudden she wants to move back into the city. So I'm in the the process of selling the house in Woodland Hills. And so I sell the house kind of simultaneously. We have to bridge loan what we're doing because we don't have a real situation.
Right.
Even the deal with Stone's Throw, that wasn't no real bread.
Right.
That was like that was the essence of cool, but nobody was expecting that to turn into what it turned into. And so I always encourage artists, that advance, that thing you think you need, don't dwell on that because it's not the power is in the ownership. And as much as people talk about owning
Right.
masters, you don't know what you got until you actually exercise it.
Right.
So, you have to get in it. You have to get in it to win it. We had like a couple of deals done, but we were smart enough to understand, well, I had the hindsight because I had done it before as a distributor. I understood licensing and why we needed to
Right.
control rights in the way that I was trying to build a business with him to do that. And so that's what we did. And eventually, we got in front of Dre because of the record that has started to bubble on Stone's Throw, based on Dre's artist,
Which record?
Suede.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a backstory to Suede that people don't know about. That, thank you, Ramalki, who is Gil Scott-Heron's son.
Wow.
And without that record being cleared, it wouldn't have ever been heard. He wouldn't have ever been able to take the meeting, which picks up, I'll say, he picks up as Dre listened to Suede multiple times, King Mez, and I forget other young boy who was in the room, but it was another artist signed to Dre. But Anderson says his name 50 times. Yeah.
Dope.
And
And
then he
then
signs, and then we do this deal with Dre,
yeah.
and he signs with Dr. Dre, and Dre discovers him.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is Dr. Dre. Like Dr. Dre when Dr. Dre puts his hands on something.
Listen, I give all
Yeah.
praises due. It's what Dre doesn't know is that list, that 16 things,
Yeah.
that his name was on it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Dre, Timberland, Pharrell. It was Dr. Dre. It wasn't
Right.
Snoop,
Right.
this person. It was Dr. Dre.
Hey, when
So
when he gets behind something, when he's committed, it's crazy.
So
It's
keep
crazy.
in mind a couple of things that we forgot about. We forgot Dre may not put the record out.
Yeah, that's
we
for
didn't
sure.
we didn't think twice about that. Anderson said it a couple of times.
It's like,
"Oh,
no,
there's-
we're putting
I'm
this
gonna be
record
signed
out.
over there. It's never gonna come out."
We're manifesting this record out.
But I was about, if we go Dr. Dre route, all those bets are off. We're gonna
Right. We'll force it out.
yeah.
We'll keep it moving.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I just had a feeling we would get music out no matter
Right.
where we went.
Right.
And because, God bless Nate Dogg and his family, I felt like Dre needed Nate Dogg.
Right.
But Anderson is not Nate Dogg, but he was the closest thing. You have to also think and keep in mind, BJ the Chicago Kid had been around the room a couple of times.
Right.
So it was other people who could have done what we did,
Right.
but it's just, again, you couldn't stop the bum rush of that team.
Right.
That teamwork was the dream work.
No, it's always the team.
Yeah.
It's always team and teamwork. And then how did he get with Bruno? When did that happen?
So at large, we were doing a series of shows. Shouts out to Kevin Morrow. I said Watsky. So Kevin had Watsky signed to him. That company is called Steel Wool. We had a partnership with Steel Wool, which was actually technically and in theory, our first real deal was with Steel Wool. Steel Wool had distribution with Empire, and I give Ghazi so much hard times about this because Ghazi did not take my phone call when I was trying to get us our deal. So Ghazi wouldn't even pick up the phone because he goes, I was getting married. I was on my honeymoon. And I was like, I don't care.
Right. Pick up the phone,
Hey,
dude.
pick
I
up
don't
the
care if you're
phone.
getting married.
And
You're in the
but
record business. You always pick up the phone.
but
No.
he gets off his honeymoon and he comes back and the first person he calls is Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin calls me and is just like, "Yo, we can put the record out with Empire." And I'm like thinking to myself, "But he couldn't call me."
Right.
But see, he couldn't call me because I didn't have anything hot going on, which is we got to get out of this.
Right. Right.
You don't got something hot, that don't mean you not hot or your whole thing ain't never been hot.
Well, it's all timing too. Sometimes, listen, it took me, people wouldn't return my phone call for years after I stopped. I had my kids and I got out of the business.
Yeah.
People wouldn't call me back for years. Oh, you're old. You're not in the business anymore. I went through that for 10
That's what I
years.
said. But hold on.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting we have to stop
We do need to
because
stop.
communication is the key to all success. And guess what? I would have wanted it no other way. Being in business with Kevin Morrow taught me so much about touring.
Yeah.
Like I have no concept of touring. It was
Right.
sign a group, put the group out, get on the radio, blah.
Right.
He was like,
They gotta
no,
go
he wasn't thinking about that part of the business. He was thinking
Right.
about touring,
Right.
Polestar,
Right.
House of Blues. That was his realm. And
That's
so
how you make money.
us partnering in
Yeah.
brought that forward out of me. And,
Good
that
stuff.
helped for the sake of Anderson's business. And then lastly, we were trying to get a deal. So this is the funniest thing because it's the irony of how the stars mix and mingle. I felt maybe my guy is, in this with me as I am with him because he was looking for other managers all along.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, damn, I'm doing all this work. I'm doing this heavy lifting.
Right.
You don't understand how much behind the scenes I'm getting crucified by my friends because they don't all fuck with you.
Right.
So I'm here trying to make sure that we get in front of this thing. It's not just the music.
Right.
It's not, and people ain't seen you perform.
Right.
So it ain't the performance. It's really, they're going off of, you think, Adrian? And I'm like, I know.
Right.
And I know, and I know. When I know, and I know.
They're trusting you.
Yeah. So it was a lot of that. But, so then comes in Taz.
Yes.
So art club, I gotta say, my little bro CJ, he set the initial thing up with her, and then it went back full circle that Anderson and her met Taz, and Taz was like, "Well, he ain't got no manager," and I'm like,
Wow. Yeah.
"He does have a manager. It's on." And at the time, I don't know if he was just like, "Yo, you're not moving quick enough for me." What mattered to me is we had to get over that hump together,
Right.
because then we curated a deal to go to Art Club to put the record out at Def Jam.
Okay.
And we got an offer from Def Jam. And by the time we got the offer, it was like, womp, 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 womp. We don't need that deal anymore. We're off to the next race.
Right.
So Taz was like, well, how do I get down with what you guys are doing? And taught me another thing about the business Taz did, which was it don't got to be the way you walk in with somebody, but let's communicate and maybe we can walk out with something.
Right.
Because Taz was able to step up. We got a little bit of extra bread because that bridge, I had spent north of 6 figures at this point. And so
Wow.
that bridge was needed. Taz came in,
Oof.
and so it was a Steel Wool Art Club OBE.
Mm-hmm. And you got reimbursed.
Yeah, it was all that, and then we were able to get the thing
Yes.
popping.
Yes.
And then we brought in other things like the touring sector.
Yeah.
And then after we had some success and we were off to the race, I was extremely clear about my first meeting with Dr. Dre's lawyer to both partners. I want to
Yeah.
be very clear that this isn't a drop the ball on your thing. I want to make sure that we work together, but you guys are being communicated to that in the event that we have this deal over here, I'm going to probably have to pay attention because this is on his list over here.
Right.
And so it did happen full circle where Gary put the good word in. The guys over there were talking. Ty put the good word in. Everybody was at Dre's throat. And then the next thing you know, Anderson tells the story. I believe it's some Michelle Obama's podcast, how he met Dre.
Mm-hmm.
And shouts out to DOC because without a DOC in the room at the time,
Right.
Dre wouldn't have been so probably interested because Dre and DOC was at the studio. And we
Right.
saw DOC first.
Right.
And I didn't even know if Dre was there or not.
Wow.
You know?
Right.
So eventually we got to him and he pressed play. put the music up so loud. It was too loud. It was like
Yeah.
piercing loud. The
Like the
decibels
olden
were,
school days.
yeah.
I
And
can't
then
listen to music like that
he
anymore.
kept playing the record
Yeah.
over and over and
Yeah.
over and over. And then
Yeah.
finally he was just like, "You ready?"
Yeah.
And Anderson was like, born, and got in there, and it just click
That's
clack.
crazy. So are you still close to Anderson?
No, not as like I would be, but that's my heart right there.
Okay.
So
Well, it's tough. Everybody goes through their ebbs and flows with artists. Eric and I didn't talk to each other for 10 years, and we're back together. Like, maybe we always talk to each other, but we weren't working together. Sometimes you need a break from people. Sometimes
yeah,
everybody goes their own separate ways.
I
It's like, I'm
felt
gonna
I
go in
felt
my
like that,
playing field,
and it not my choice necessarily, but we found a way to work quietly together without being on top of one another's nerves.
Right.
And I probably did get on his damn nerves because the thing about me is I'm tenacious, dog
Mhm.
on the bone type
Mhm.
vibe. I want to
Mhm.
make sure we get to the end of the whole everything and then start again.
So now what are you doing? What have you been working on? Tell me. You got Sway. You were saying
Oh,
about Sway. Let's talk
well,
about the things that you're
Sway,
working on.
Sway and Tech and I have been working together since we were kids, damn
Right.
near. Um,
I love
and
love them.
and yeah, what's not to love? They're curators of the culture. They're
Mhm.
figureheads, and I've always been there for anything they've ever needed of me, and vice versa.
Mhm.
So, and I had Anderson on the show, and one of those other things is me pulling the seams out, saying, "Hey, he's also a drummer," and him coming in and drumming for one of their open mic things,
Right.
and them going, "Wait a minute, he's actually dope," and he's talking and making jokes while he's drumming,
Right.
and they're actually seeing this, and they're like, "Yo, hey, he's a
Right.
business," and then
Right.
eventually Sway lets us come up on the show when we got a record,
Yep.
and we're moving around, and so we look like we are more than what we are, but we are the actual thing, and we don't get it.
Yeah.
So Sway and Tech put together for the culture, and
Okay.
it's a awards kind of like who got the props, us celebrating us before anybody else could say, "Hey, we want to celebrate you." And this is our third annual event coming up on August 22nd. So for the
Dope.
culture is us giving flowers to our
It's dope.
and so the ad mats are out right now. It's Cypress Hill. We're celebrating with them. They're gonna get down
Awesome.
with it.
Yep.
Exhibit,
Yep.
and the people we go back way back with. Um, um, Black Thought from the
Awesome.
Roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
I
thing.
wanna go to that, so
Well,
please give me an invitation.
it's here. It's here.
So I wanna go.
It's up the
Yeah.
street at the Avalon on
Okay.
August 22nd.
I wanna
And
go.
so these are properties that we're building up together.
Okay.
I'm doing a podcast called Hustle Sold Separately.
Awesome. Awesome. That's
Thank you.
great.
And it's all about the true A&R experience. And so I got to have you over there. The
Let's
point
talk about
is,
making records.
yeah, the point is making records and giving
Yeah.
people real constructive criticism in real time to each song
Oh, I
that they
love that.
submit. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome. I
let's
would
get
love
it.
to do that. I'd
Let's
love to
get
do
it.
that.
And yeah.
Let me ask you some questions. What's your favorite album all time?
Whew, sheesh.
I know it's hard, right?
My go-to favorite album all time, Purple Rain.
Boom. Crazy Prince. And we both worked with him. Yes, Crazy Prince. But a great record.
Great record.
Artists that you wish you could have worked with.
Robert Johnson.
Ooh, I love that. That's really good. Like it's funny, he keeps coming up lately. It's really weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Favorite producer? That's hard.
So
Huh?
no. It's David Kahn,
Ooh.
and I'll tell you why David Kahn is my
I
favorite
haven't
producer.
heard David Kahn's name in centuries. No, David Kahn. I wasn't a David Kahn didn't really like me.
Well,
But anyway.
he liked me. And
Yeah, I
that's
know.
David Kahn,
Oh my God.
and in a second runner up,
David Kahn when he was at Warner Brothers, right?
yeah, people
Yeah.
so people don't get it. I wrote a record.
I have a whole story about it. But keep going.
I wrote a song
Mm-hmm.
with my boy, and the group is DKLA. We got a deal with Rick Rubin through Dan Charnas, and I was an artist, just like that. I got a record out.
Okay.
And we wrote another song, produced by DJ Homicide and Sugar Ray, and McG says this needs to go on their album. So I had a record on Sugar Ray's album
Mhm.
that David Kahn produced.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's huge. Well,
that I
yeah, of
wrote,
course you love
that I
him.
wrote,
Yeah, that's great.
and it was the only song he
Wow.
produced on that album. That was the last time he worked together with the group.
Wow, that's crazy.
But
Where is he
hard
now?
stop.
Still producing probably?
Rich, balling,
Yeah.
harder than us.
Okay, favorite city?
Favorite city is Los Angeles, California.
Yay, me too. I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
Most underrated artist today?
Listen, man, I know how to pick them. Anderson Paak. Not for nothing. He's actually so dope.
He is.
People don't realize.
No, he's dope.
I got songs right now. If I were to play them, you'd be like, hands down, he's actually got it. Because he can rap. He can do it all.
No, he's
He
talented.
can do it all. He can produce
He's
it.
super talented.
Yeah. So
Are you still managing artists?
I am. Yeah, absolutely.
I might have something for you.
Absolutely.
Coffee or tequila?
Oh, coffee. I don't drink.
Okay, you don't drink at all?
Nah.
You're boring. Anyway.
I know. That's what they say at first.
Studio or live music?
Live.
Good. Morning or
Live
night?
music in the studio.
Yeah, exactly. Morning or night? You're a morning person or a night person?
I'm just blessed to be when I can be.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't have a particular. I love the sunlight, but I'm partial to the moon. So
Okay.
who knows?
Favorite vacation city or favorite vacation? Where do you like to go?
Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah.
One word that defines Adrian Miller.
That's interesting. I don't know that there's a word that defines me, but love.
Very good. I love that.
Yeah.
I was going to say tenacity. You know, Adrian, one of the things I admire most about your journey is that you never chase the spotlight. You chase greatness. You've believed in people before anyone else believed in them, which is very difficult. You trust your instincts, take risks, weather change, and continue to evolve through every chapter of the business. I've been fortunate enough to known you since Loud Records, RCA days, and it's been incredible to watch your journey unfold. From those early years of breaking records together to making or shaping defining artists of our generation. Thank you for sharing your story, your wisdom, your heart with me today. Thank you for coming to Out on the Fire.
Out in the Fire, thank you for having me.
Let everybody know where they can find you if you want to give out it's up to you. If you want to give out all your social media and stuff,
I keep it, very easy.
Okay,
easy going.
what's all your socials?
I have a website.
Okay.
And everything goes there. It's www.zionxyion.com. Zion.com. And when you are looking for the X and Y generation I own, that's me. Yeah. But Adrian _Miller.
Awesome. Thank you.
They can find me through your socials.
Yes, they can.
As soon as you follow me back.
Yes, I am following you.
I'm mad about this. I'm mad about
he
this.
Loves beating me up. Okay, so thank you don't forget to come like the show Out of the Fire on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, TikTok. Like it, share it, so I can bring more amazing guests that you probably don't know a lot about. Let's go.